Alright guys, so today we're gonna be going over on how we get levels, on how I draw up my levels, and how I usually find my key pivots. All my key pivots, all my levels are usually found on the 15-minute time frame. For me, the 15-minute time frame is what really works the best for me intraday. I really don't swing, and when I do decide to swing some positions like calls, puts, for longer dated expirations, I usually look at bigger time frames like the 1 minute and the 4 hour. But for day trading, I usually like the 15 minute the most because it gives me the best moves day trading. I would say some people say I usually draw up too many levels, but all my levels usually, when I draw up levels, my levels usually be like I don't know, I would say like $1, $2, sometimes $3 separated. So y'all know ODT, ODT that pays well. So all right, so when it comes to levels, I usually try looking at it all the candle openings and closes. I usually try finding like bound zones. Like let's say, okay, we're holding somewhere over here. Where do we usually bounce to and then hold? If we hold above there, where do we usually go down to once again? So right now I'm on the 15-minute time frame, so I'm gonna just try finding some key pivots that I'm gonna find key pivots to the upside. See what I can find to the upside since I know all time highs is right here. And then I'll show you guys on how I get some levels. Well, some, I wouldn't say some levels, but some price targets for all time highs. And then I'll draw up a good amount to the downside. That way that we can all have a clear seeing of how I usually find those. But I'm gonna start over here at 568, 62. The most important ones for me are I usually just look at the candle openings. Like I see it once we close above here, we usually see upside right here. Um, every single time we held over here we push. So from 568.76, we usually see the push for the upside too. I'm gonna get these levels out first, and then I'm gonna go to previous price action to compare it a little bit better. But I'm just gonna base it off from what I'm currently seeing off the most recent price action. So 568.76 to 570.65, and then right now I'm gonna get the key pivots, and then I'm gonna draw which are the white levels. And then after I get all my key pivots, I'm gonna draw up the red levels, which is my supply and demand zones that I play around my levels. So above 570.65. 572.43. Let me see. This can't open at 572.44. I'm just gonna push it one more time up then. I'll put it right there. From 570.65, 572.45, and this is better. Clear explanation right here. Every time we hold below it, we usually see downside. Hold below it. Um, didn't really break above. Usually, this is probably our supply zone over here. Probably stayed in supply till end of the day. Over here, can't close above it. Sees the downside. Still can't close above it. Pushes back towards the downside, but at end of the day, right here holds above it. Sees the upside. Holds above it. Tries to see the upside, but doesn't till some volume came in. And then from 572.45, 574.43. Yeah, I usually just look at mostly at the body of the candle. Some wicks tell me, like these wicks kind of lead me towards the direction of the real level, But some wicks can be a little fake, crazy. So I usually just look at the body and the openings and the closes of the 15 minute. Mostly the openings though, because sometimes they can close right on the level, but open right below it, and that's what shows me that okay, we might continue seeing downside, like over here. All right, so those are my levels for the upside, and then I'll continue going. I'll show you guys how to I get upside targets after I get some downside levels. I'm probably after from 570, 568, 76. I'm probably gonna get to like 550 or something, so we can get a clear seeing of how I get these. But underneath 568.76, from 568.76, I like 566.07. I think I'm gonna move it a little bit more down. And then in these cases, so I can, because some people for levels they usually use fibs and everything. I like fibs because fibs kind of lead me towards the right direction. But instead of fibs, I just like just to get my own levels because I can kind of draw them down to the exact extent that I want them at. Like in this case right here, I'll go see where it opened at 95, 565.95. That's where I got the level right here. This one opened up at 565.97. Right, that looks good to me. Might just push a little bit more up. I'm gonna see where this wick went all the way down to. 566. Nah, I'm just leave it there. Okay, there's more price action over here. Then 5. I'm just kind of trying to see where these candles went down to and open to, so I can kind of put it with this candle over here. Just don't got too much more price action on this side to kind of confirm it, but I'm probably gonna push it up to 98. And then below 565.98. Obviously, there's gonna be some candles like this guys where we're obviously not gonna get the full move. Sometimes there's gonna be situations you just kind of have to figure out the price action as well intraday. But there's gonna be situations like right here we just can't break underneath supply zone. Like and then in based off over here we held supply zone. I don't know. You can play like that. Sometimes I do play like that with like if I notice the price action of the day over here kind of holding up real well, real wicky. If I want to play the upside, I might just try the zone over here for supply, and I might just use that as my stop loss. And then if we close underneath it on the 15 minute, then I know my price target is gonna be over here when I'm playing call side. That can be my stop loss. Um, Underneath 565.98. John, I don't really include PM and after hours when I draw my levels. I have my friend uses those, and sometimes we do compare them, and I do look at them, and majority of the time my levels kind of line up to all those levels that are currently playing out, and so I really had no reason to look at them out. And I feel like I try adding that strategy, and it kind of confused me for a little bit, and so I just haven't really played them like that since then. And then okay, 565.98 to 563.74. Okay, I'll get these over here real quick, and then I'll go back to those areas over there to compare to. Underneath 563.74. 560.65. Yeah, got you, bro. Yeah, if you guys got any questions, just ask them in the voice chat live stages. I'm gonna go to this previous price action over here, kind of compared to. All right, so I got that 563.74 level. Last time we were up here. Um, I'm gonna check over here, then I'm gonna scroll back to over there. Yeah, we hold underneath 563.74. Push back down, hold over here, see more downside. Over here, hold, try seeing upside, fail, close below. Um, I'm gonna see if I draw it up a little bit higher, and then I'm gonna compare it to the recent price action. And I'm gonna mark this blue, just to know I drew it up in the previous price action. Damn, how zoomed in I gotta be to get 76? Okay. Damn, right here kind of got me stumped on where exactly I want this level, but I think I'm gonna just base it off the most recent price action we got. I'm gonna stick with 560.65. Um, under 560.65. I just stuck with 560.65 based off these candles over here. From 560.65, 558.78. 558.78 till 557.21. Some levels might be a little bit tighter because um, the tighter levels might have a little bit more chop area between them, so keep that in mind. I usually keep that in mind when I'm playing like chop days and stuff like that. And 557.21, I'm just gonna see how it looks over here. Looks good, closed above it, tested it, continue seeing the upside. Underneath 557.21, we get the downside till 554.72. If you guys have any questions or anything, just ask them in the voice chat live stages. I'm just drawing up levels as I go. I'm just looking at every single body and open them every 15 minutes. I like 554.74. Underneath 554.74, we get the downside too. No. My bad. I'm just gonna base it off this recent price action. So from 554.74, I like 552.50. And then as we get along over here, this is usually the longest part, just getting every single level down from scratch. As time passes and everything, every single night I just usually just pay like 20 minutes. I just put in like a good 20 minutes into the chart. See if I gotta adjust any levels based off today's price action that we had around these areas. So 554.74 to 552.50. I like it over here. We hold, push above, hold, push above, hold, push above. And from 552.50 down to from 552.50, 549.58. And like I was mentioning, like the levels that are kind of close to each other, those are usually a little bit more choppier levels. The levels that are kind of separated from each other, there's more volatility between these levels. All right, so now that I got the key pivots to the downside, I'm gonna draw my red levels, which is usually my supply and my demand zone around my key pivots. and I'm gonna explain them as I draw them. I usually use my red levels when it comes to like if I'm playing like FEG, inverse FEGs and stuff like that. In those cases where we're kind of like trending in a direction one side or the other side, and I'll try to find a clear explanation on what I mean by that in a bit. But usually with FEGs, we usually like to break above, and I use the FEGs when they line up real well with the levels in my FEG. Like let's say over here pushing for right here pushed up, close back below close back below our key pivot, and pretty much just held up the FEG. The FEG was the staircase to continue it for the continuation towards the upside, which right here was the right here was the last staircase right here, and when it pushed up, we rejected the top of that staircase, and right here pushed up again. We uh we held up the last staircase to continue the staircase up, and just kind of like demand and supply zones. If they usually hold above our demand zone, we're gonna we got our next price target towards our key pivot, safe bet, our supply zone. So my demand is over here is between 550.14 and 559.58. 'Em. I don't think so. P Rose, just for the fact that I don't even know what OBs are, bro. And our supply below 552.50 is 551.19. And like in these cases right here, um, to kind of have an idea that we're going to continue seeing momentum towards the upside, we see right here we cannot close underneath supply zone on the 15 minute, and the wicks, the only thing that they're testing is kind of testing the FVG area from the last staircase, and FVG stands for fair value gap, and just we cannot close underneath right here. If it closed underneath right here, we could probably got price target back to over here, but held FVG to get the price target towards the upside. Held our key pivot and gave us our next price target, which is our other key pivot. So 551.19. Yeah, for continuation or downside. It just depends on how it is on the layout. The most important thing for me are just the key pivot levels, which are the white levels, and the red levels. I usually see them for like a continuation or like let's say in this case right here, we got a test of our supply zone. We cannot break. We hit. Let me see this candle. This is a new day right here. We opened and we got a test of our supply zone on the upside, but we cannot get a close of out of our demand zone, which pretty much just gave us the confirmation for more downside right here. But kind of gives you price targets, you know. It gives me price targets and gives me continuation levels and all that stuff. And I reset 553.36 to 552.50. I don't know, I might put this one a little bit more down. $553.16 to 552.50 is my demand zone, and 554.74 And in these cases, I kind of use them like in this situation right here. Um, we get the push up. We cannot close above our key pivot over here. If you guys want, we can start playing puts on the upside since we cannot get a close above key pivot. And then once the 9 a.m. candle rolls around, we still can't close above key pivot, and we opened right below our supply zone. That's pretty much gonna tell us that our price target is gonna be this area over here. But in this case, it just dropped really quick that it held underneath our next key pivot and continued giving us downside for more price targets to be hit. And then like in days like this right here where this is chop, it kind of just helps us lead where's the chop zone like located from over here to over here, and then over here to over here. Yeah, I'm not really much of a teacher, so you guys need help understanding something, just let me know. But from 554.74 to 553.97 is my zone, and then from 554.74 to towards the upside, which I would say from 554.74 to 553.37 is my demand zone. And like I said, my the way I look at levels is usually like a ping pong game. We usually hold one level. We see it over here. We hold that level. We see it over here. Once it breaks below that level, our game's from over here to over here. We hold over here. See this level. See this game again, and then I would say 10 is kind of, then we can have our supply and demand zones as kind of like the front coverage. And so I don't even know if they use front coverages. I know some people play in the front and some people play in the back. So, and like in this case right here, the back hit it, we hold above our key pivot, we close above our demand zone. See price target over here. Dropped it down to 555.33. Just based off these candles over here. Let me see, this one opened at 35. Alright. And our supply zone from 557.21 would be 556.55. And my demand zone above 557.21 would be 557.66 to 557.21. And my supply zone will be from 558.78 558.78 to 558.42 is my supply zone in this side of the range. And above 558.78 I got 558.78 to 559.39 is my demand zone. 560.65 till 560.65 to 560.18 is my supply zone. I just found my entries based off the 15-minute closes. Like, let's say if a 15-minute, obviously, like in situations where we're kind of having this push towards the upside and we can't close above my key pivot to the upside yet, but I'm seeing us hold underneath our supply. It's probably just waiting for the EMAs to catch up. If I was to take puts, I'd probably just take my profits at this liquidity grab over here before it starts squeezing up, and vice versa. I see that we still can't close below. I see that it recovered this wick really quick. So I just use the 15-minute opens and closes and I kind of just try to figure out like what play do I see right now? Do I see like a FEG retest, which I feel like FEGs pay really well depending on the direction that we're playing. If it's a good trend day, or if it's just a inside range, I'm gonna just try to pay attention on where the range is at based off my levels. And I'm seeing if we're still in the range, the 15 minute can't close above my price, my key level to give me more upside towards to give me more upside, or vice versa can give me more downside, and we're still holding inside our range. I'm just gonna probably take the scalp from the high of my range to the low of my range. So it just depends the day it is. 560, 65 to 561.15 to 560.65 is my demand, and my supply zone is from 563.74 to but I sometimes might use the 90, the 5 minute on and the 90 MA. Like, let's say we're having like a trend day, I'll look at the 90 MA and the fit on the 5 minute, and that would be my entry. Like, let's say, okay, I noticed the 15 minutes holding my key pivot right here, or holding my demand right here, and the 90 MA is catching up. I'm probably gonna try to get in on the entry of the retest of the 90 MA for the continuation of a upside. It'll be already, if it's just waiting for the 90 MA to catch up and test the FVG, because I usually notice the 90 MA lines up really well with the FVG. If we have like a nice day like that. 563.74 till 562.78. And from 563.74 It's just skipping over 51. Goes 50 to 52. There it is. Really no price action over here to compare it to. Okay. Sometimes the wicks, depending on if they're not too crazy or anything. Like if it's giving me like some wicks might give me a good reason, to see that okay, it's this level. Like some of these wicks right here, when I see we're about to go get the move, these wicks kind of tell me, okay, boom, boom. But I don't really pay attention to too many wicks. Obviously wicks are gonna happen sometimes, and like let's say you getting calls over here, thinking it's about to go up, but right away close. Starts pushing based off the wick, but the 15 minutes starts on you outside. I usually like to wait till the 15-minute closes, you know. 564.51 to 563.74 is my demand. My supply. $565.50 to $565.98. Some zones are just gonna be a little bit smaller than other zones, so keep that in mind when you guys drop levels by yourself. 565.98 till 565.98 like right here. Attempted a breakout, failed, went back into the zone, went back into to test our key pivot, held our key pivot, saw the upside right here. Um, right away broke above our push right above our key pivot, closed above our key pivot in our demand zone, gave us the upside. Break down here, tested our demand zone, couldn't close into our demand zone. In this case, went to go retest FEG, which is pretty much from over here to over here. Retested it, but couldn't close above key pivot. Every time it held above it, it just kept bouncing back up over here. So it finally closed below it. When it closed below it, went to go test our key pivot. Key pivot held. Saw the upside. 568.76 till 568.76 to 568.10 is the supply in that range, and from 568.76 to and after you guys go over these levels like every single night for like years straight, these levels kind of start making a little bit more sense to you guys if you guys are confused, you know. You kind of figure out when we start seeing more upside, like okay, this might be the level for my upside, and vice versa. when which is when levels are fresh and all that stuff. So it starts getting easier to spot levels the more you look into them. 570 570 65 till 570 65 to 570 05 and 570 65 till 570 122 to 570 65 572 45 till 572 03. Let me double check. 572 45 to 571 95. It's the supply right there. And 572 45 till 'Up here, levels start getting a little bit more trickier since we don't have too much price action to base it off of. So 574.43 till 574.43 to 573.95. And over here, I'm just trying to figure out my demand between 572.45 and Okay, I had another level between to 572.45. We usually see the move to 573.41. I just marked down that level just in case it gets pretty choppy up here since I don't really have too much data, past data to base it off of. But I see right here, we usually hold this level. We see over here, we hold below this level. We see over here, and it has to break below this level so we can continue seeing downside over here. Held this level, saw downside, closed above level, held upside. And I just want to place this level on right here just for the fact that I did see this pretty nasty red candle. So I'm trying to make sense of it based off this little data I've had over here, and I kind of am right here. I like to keep it right here as well. 573.41. 573.41, 574.43 to 574.15, and 573.41 it to 573.70. And then when it comes to all-time highs, guys, this is all I use for all-time highs is I kind of use the fibs to kind of give me price targets. So like let's say I'm gonna lower this level a little bit down. 574.40. I usually just put my fib down from one key pivot, which in this case 573.41, to my next key pivot 574.40. My first price target is gonna be 575.01. Once I see it start holding 575.01, 576 is my next price target. And then I don't use I don't use these upper levels in the fibs. I just use the first two to give me the first two price targets, and then I kind of try building my own data based off what I start seeing up here. Once the actual candles start giving me data up here, and then I'll drop the Fibonacci again. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Do you guys have any questions on how I drew any of these levels up? Does it all make sense? I think we did a pretty good job with these levels right here, and like just pretty much going on the 15 minute, going on zoomed out to zoom out on the 15 minute, and you can kind of just see where it just makes sense, you know. We hold the 15 minute bodies, we see the downside. Hold the 15 minute bodies, we see the downside. We hold below this downside, we continue seeing downside. Pretty much that's just the best way to help me find price targets, and the 15 minutes what's helped me out the most, honestly. I some people draw up levels on the 5 minute, 15, 30, 45. They all work. It's just the 15 minutes what's worked for me, and when it comes to trading, there's thousand things that work out there for people, you know. So keep that in mind, and this is just what's been working best for me to help me find direction in the market. And when I feel like I just got levels set down to a T on where I want them, I just feel like I always know where the market's pretty much going to go to, you know, based off the 15 minute opens and closes. Yeah, you guys just let me know if you guys have any questions, and then if not, I'm probably just going to end the stream right now. My supply and demand lines, I pretty much just read them like this. Like in a case like this, it failed to break above. The price action was already a little bit iffy. It failed to break above. And then once the price action finally start getting better, we finally close above it one more time and start seeing the price target towards the upside. And then in this case right here, we closed into our supply zone, and we did the 15 minute did not manage to get another opening underneath it to give us the move down here once again, and just continue pushing up. Right here, we cannot close above key pivot. It starts pushing out of supply zone. The 15 minute opens below supply zone, retests it. It's pretty much telling me that we're gonna get a move out to this downside over here, you know. And then let me see if I can find a better case with like the FEG. Like right here, pretty much right here where we start squeezing back up, starts pushing up, pushes into well, this is the opening. No, this is not the opening. We start pushing. We cannot close above key pivot right here. Um, and it's just chopping around. It's just chopping into our supply zone. That's pretty much going to tell us that it's going to be chopped all the way so we can finally either close above it to give us better price targets, or close below it to give us price targets towards downside. So it helps me find zones that some days chop zones that we're in, or helps me find like momentums like let me see. Excuse me, guys. It just pretty much gives me confirmations that we're gonna we close below supply zone, that we're gonna there's a good chance. Obviously there's gonna be some days like this right here, and immediately if you start playing puts over here, which I usually don't like chasing, but if you try getting puts over here to get the price target over here, and then you see it start reversing where it starts um closing back into supply, holding inside supply, closes back above key pivot, then in this case right here, you see it start closing back above supply, and it can close underneath supply again. Might use that as the stop loss. And in this case right here, hold key pivot, close above supply, close above demand, start seeing the upside. I usually like to play the 9 a.m. news when there is news. If I like to play news based off levels, like the 15 minute with 9 a.m. at the kind of 9 a.m. is the time that it comes out for me. 10 a.m. New York, 9 a.m. Chicago. Um, just to see where it brings in volume and see where it brings in volume in the market, and starts giving me the direction for a potential big move on the day. So that's when I usually notice that when new news comes out, unless some days it just kind of depends. Some days I've noticed that it usually comes out once news comes out and holds till news exactly drops, and then just recently I've noticed that it's been moving a little bit before the news. So you just gotta those are just kind of the key things that you guys have to pay attention with the market. Like, okay, the market has had a trend this way this week. Is it gonna be a new trend? And then if you start seeing the new trend continue next week throughout multiple days, um, that's pretty much it. Like this week, my like this play over here was like at 8:45 when we got the downside move on Friday, and that's just based off the fact that I seen us multiple times the past few days start having our moves before the news comes out. So I like to wait till news, but if it wants to if it starts looking like it wants to give me the move before news comes out, then I'll play it before news comes out. Yeah, bro. I'll try doing that. It's because yeah, I mean, I'll try doing that because sometimes the opinions kind of change quick. Like if it starts closing above there in the last few seconds. But I'll start dropping down like the two strikes I'm kind of looking at. for calls and upside depending on what 15 minute I'm getting. I don't really look at the percentage for stop loss. I just look at, like, let's say if I seen it already starts reversing this way right here, starts pushing above key pivot right here, I might play calls on this open and break of the 15 minute. I'm just gonna wait to get as close to my level as possible to buy the calls, and in this case it did retest it, even went a little bit underneath it, so buy calls. And then my stop loss would pretty much be like a 15 minute close underneath right here, because I know in this case it usually does bring me the price targets to the downside. um and then sometimes, since I do play ODT and chop days, it just kind of just completely fucks us over. In those cases, those are shitty as well, when it just doesn't give us my actual stop loss that I'm looking for. But overall, I always just wait for a 15 minute close and close and open on the 15 for a stop loss if it's moving in the opposite direction that I'm looking for. Anytime, guys. Yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I think I'm gonna be done here. Let me end this.